Thank you, thank you. Terrific. Yes, glad to see you. Welcome to Parental Advisory. I'm Dale Parent, your host, and I'm just as excited to be here. I've decided there's a lot of things people need to know, and we're here to talk about it. I know. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Today we're going to talk about the dangers of phishing emails. We all thought email was safe. Use it for work. Amazon sales, altering election outcomes, keeping in touch with grandma, everyday stuff. Who'd have thought email could be so dangerous? Let's talk to someone who knows. From the Department of Security Operations at Hosting, please welcome Alex O'Toole. Alex, thank you so much for being here with us today.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
So you're here to talk about, looks like, phishing. What is phishing?
Well, phishing is a pretty simple concept in itself, but can be really complicated at its core. Phishing normally comes in the form of an email sent to either you or a coworker, and it's always mostly a form of a request. So either they're going to be asking you to visit a link, a URL, they're going to be asking you to download something like a document, an invoice. They're going to be asking you to provide some type of information that is either personal or it is to you yourself.
Right, right. Well, I mean, wouldn't it usually be pretty easy to tell what a phishing email is? Because it's going to come from, some stranger that you don't know, and if they're asking you for personal information, obviously you're not going to give it to them.
Right, and exactly, and that's where it kind of gets complicated because you don't know sometimes if it's a stranger or if it's someone, they'll try to impersonate, like a vendor you may be working with or another coworker. It's always kind of a throw. It might seem like a stranger, but it also might seem like someone you may have worked with. So.
What about family members? I mean, I got an email from my grandma the other day, and she was in quite a spot. She was on safari, down in Zimbabwe, and she said that she'd been, taken hostage by some baddies, and I needed to wire them money like very quickly to have her released. So she's on her way back home now, as far as I know. But I mean, that was a concerning moment. I mean, if I hadn't acted and sent them that money, she could be in the jungle somewhere, and that'd be tough for grandma.
Yeah. It could have been, and that's why you always gotta make sure you understand where your relatives are at all times. Definitely where they're located. So
no, that's a great point. So, how about you? I mean, does your grandma do any type of safari?
No,
adventures?
she doesn't, but she does definitely get phishing emails like everyone else does, and she doesn't fall for them because she understands what to look for in each one of those phishing emails, how to determine what a phishing email is.
Gotcha. So what's her first name?
So next question.
Okay, you got me there. So why is phishing such a big deal?
Well, phishing impacts everyone. That's why it's a big deal. It's not only aimed towards corporations. It's aimed towards everyone. So you can get phishing in your personal email for your everyday life stuff, or you can get phishing emails at work. That's why we want to protect it here, and we want to protect it in your personal life as well.
What's more common, like work or personal phishing emails, or is it about the same?
It typically is about the same, but actually, if you can go more for corporations and actually so not only can you get more information about someone in their corporate environment, but then you can also gain and compromise more stuff within that actual company, and you can get more information that way and escalate through there. So typically, corporate environments are a lot bigger targets to phishers.
That makes sense. Deeper pockets, bigger target. That's what you want to go after.
Exactly.
All right. That makes perfect sense. Thank you for the insight there. So I think we have a couple more questions here.
Yep.
Here's a good one from one of our viewers. Thank you. So the question from our viewer is, how do I know if I'm being phished?
So that's a great question. Actually, I love that one. So there's actually a bunch of key things you can always tell, like how you're being phished almost right off the bat. First of all, subject line. Is it already a request? Is it already something that seems off? Are you expecting it? Are you expecting an email like this? Is it from someone you know? Obviously, it might not be from someone you know, but they might be imitating someone you know. So that's always something you want to make sure. You want to make sure that the email addresses always match up with subjects and what they're asking. So if you get an email from US Bank, but the email is from joeschmo@gmail.com, that's obviously a red flag. So you always want to make sure that what they're asking, who's sending it from, everything kind of lines up. You have to perform a checklist kind of in your mind. Okay, this adds up, this adds up, this adds up. Everything looks good. Also, if you get links, like multiple links that point to sites that don't actually redirect to what they're asking for, again, back to the US Bank thing, if you see US Bank saying, please confirm your credit card number on this site, and the site is not towards a US Bank site, then that's another red flag. There's multiple things you can kind of look for there, and that's where it becomes a complicated scenario, and that's where one flag can lead to another, and that's what you really want to look for, those little key hints.
That's great advice. Thank you, Alex. And I think
spelling and grammar.
Spelling and grammar. Yep. Check before you click, everybody. It's very important to keep us all safe. So I guess we have a couple of our questions here. How can we prevent phishing?
So another great question. There's a lot of stuff that we do here at Hosting to prevent phishing. Obviously, we want to educate as much people as we can. And matter of fact, we just released not too long ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, the Phish Alert button that everyone can now click in their emails. Is a little button above each email. You can click down on the little tab, click Report as Phishing, and when it is reported, it will then send to SecOps. We can then investigate it, and then we can determine if that is actually phishing or not. And if you get an email back, then it is not. But if you don't, then it is phishing and it is removed from your inbox. So,
well, how's the adoption rate on this new feature? Are people using it?
We've seen a very big increase on actually reported phishing emails.
Oh, that's great, because preventing phishing and keeping our data secure is a team effort. Everyone needs to be involved.
Of course.
So one last question. What was the street that you grew up on?
Yeah, I gotta go.
All right, well, I understand. Thank you very much for your time and for visiting. Alex O'Toole, everybody, thank you.
Thank you.
Always great talking to Alex. Now for our next guest, we have somebody who has a slightly different perspective on phishing emails. He's taken the time away from hacking the Gibson to come in and talk to us. We're very appreciative of that. Please welcome, from what I'm told is a very well-furnished basement, Splinter. Splinter, thank you very much for joining us here. So, you're a hacker, is that correct?
Yeah, I like to hack. I like a lot of that stuff. I like to phish people a lot,
Oh, so you do phishing? You engage in the phishing?
Yeah. That's my favorite thing to do. I like to phish a lot.
I see. You're very, very passionate about your phishing. Well, that's good. We appreciate that.
Of course.
So, this may be a little bit personal, but are you successful at phishing?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I love the confidence. Of course. All right. Well, let me see. I have a few more questions for you, if you don't mind.
Of course.
I know you're short on time because you got a lot of business to do here.
Yeah.
So, if you don't mind sharing some trade secrets, what's a technique that always works?
Oh, well, I'm not going to tell you everything, of course, but I mean, I got a few tricks up my sleeve. I guess
you could share a few nuggets.
I guess I can. Okay, I'll tell you one. All right.
We'll take one. What do you got?
All right, look. So my favorite thing to do, oh my goodness, they fall for it every time. I like to send invoices. That's my favorite. I always send them typically to managers or such to actually take the payroll. I like to send them right to an invoice. I mean,
someone who doesn't really read their email, they just forward it along to.
Those are the best. See, I like to send them the invoices. Tell them, you owe me $2,000. I'm a vendor. Download this document. They download that document. Oh, you should see how fast they download it so fast. They download it, and then I have an image saying, "Hey, to open this document securely, go to this URL. Click on the document." They click on it. They type their passwords. They give me that user. Oh, I love it. I get some every time.
Wow.
Get some every time.
You're making me nervous.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's move on.
Yeah.
This one's a great question.
Uh-huh.
I love this question. One of our viewers was kind enough to share this one with us. What defeats you?
What defeats me?
Yeah.
No, I mean, what really defeats me? I'll be honest with you, because I've been honest with you so far.
You've been nothing but honest. We really appreciate that. Just tell us what defeats you.
when everyone in the company takes their security awareness training and passes. That's
Wow.
what really gets me.
Wow, okay. That's an honest
what-
response. Well, thank you for sharing that. And
That's what-
everybody, lesson learned. What we have to do is take our security awareness and pass.
Yeah.
That's the message, everybody. That's
I gotta-
necessary. Yeah, no, you're fine.
Yeah, I gotta
know
go.
you gotta go. All right, thanks.